How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Episode 11 of Eric's career mode with McLaren Formula 1 racing team, coming towards the end of qualifying 1. Very easy Q2 appearance, I believe, and it is P8 and P6 from Q1. End of Q2, and we're gonna set whooping easy lap to Q3 because, you know, our car is okay. It's not so easy, but still P7 and P8 still ahead of Haas and Racing Points. And we actually did 2-1s in Q3 this time because I felt like I needed to do 2-1s because our car is not so competitive here. And after first one, we're getting a P2 in the grid, and now we're gonna start a final lap. So I'll let you guys enjoy the V6 engines from McLaren Formula 1 racing team. So enjoy the V6 engine sound and enjoy the lap. And now we're coming towards the final corner once again, and let's see, are we gonna improve our time or not? We're coming across the line, and I believe it will be P4 in for the grid. So P4 and P6 for McLaren boys, not bad. It only shows that our upgrades are working in a car. Ferraris and Mercedes a little bit ahead, but at least ahead of Red Bull.
Puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Devlin, Charles Leclerc and Sainz, Verstappen, Albon, Weber and Sergio Perez, Hülkenberg, Butler, Daniel Ricciardo and Raikkonen, Norris, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid.
So that was a grid for today's race, and now it's going to be 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go for the Grand Prix of Hockenheim. We get a little bit of bad start from the field. We're gonna challenge Charles. We're gonna make sure Charles is not gonna overtake us for the first corner. We push him a little bit wide, help our teammate move up positions. Now we're gonna dive up the outside of Sebastian Vettel, but we can't keep the momentum up. We don't have enough corner speed to make that happen. But we're using a slipstream. Carlos Sainz is trying to overtake us round the outside, round the racing line. We put to overtake mode. We try to challenge Sebastian Vettel because I know I have to make maneuvers in the first lap, first corners to make it stick, and we're gonna push Vettel purposely wide so that our teammate can overtake Sebastian. And there we go. Carlos Sainz and Eric are P3 and P4 in the race at the moment. So very good start for the McLaren boys. 2 Mercedes P1 and P2, and 2 McLaren P3 and P4, best position of the year so far. And Carlos Sainz actually having better pace than me at this stage of a Grand Prix, so we decided to let Carlos Sainz go, so we get demoted back to P4 position. So but still, we have to think about the team, not about the drivers. So when teammate is fast, I'm of course gonna let him go, except if it's the last race of the championship in Abu Dhabi. So but now we have Lucas Weber challenging us for position, so our pace is not so great. Actually, Carlos Sainz is challenging the Mercedes. As you can see, Carlos Sainz, ladies and gentlemen, has overtaken Lewis Hamilton for position and is currently fighting for P1 with Valtteri. So Carlos Sainz, I don't know what on earth he's been eating, but he has found some goddamn good steroids, and he's now moving himself to P1. So we have McLaren boys in P1 and P4, and I just can't keep up with Carlos this race at all. I know what's the thing. Did they give him the same parts to the car than I had for the first 11 races? But anyways, lap 6, I mean, we're going to the pits, and we're gonna take the medium sets, and we're gonna take one more stop after this. We're gonna come behind Charles Leclerc, but we're diving up the inside of Charles Leclerc. We're gonna make the Ricciardo dive bomb. We're gonna touch his wheel, and we're gonna overtake him and push him a little bit wide because, you know, it's Charles Leclerc. And now Valtteri, we overtake Robert Kubica, and Valtteri is just coming from the pits. and we have to capitalize this because he still has cold tires. He's taking the fresh set of softs, but we jump ahead of Valtteri, so it's now McLaren boys in P1 and P3, but Valtteri is really pressurizing us. He's trying to challenge us around the racing line. We're gonna make sure he's not gonna overtake us before that last corner, because I need to be ahead of from this breaking point. And now Robert Kubica is doubling the inside of Valtteri Bottas, so Valtteri and Kubica going side by side with each other, but looks like Valtteri Bottas got it done. And now we have some traffic ahead of us. Lewis Hamilton is stuck behind the Renaults, and we're gonna dive up the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and there we go, easy as you like it. And it is McLaren in P1 and P2 in the race when Carlos makes his pit stop. And very easy overtake on Daniel Ricciardo with the old set of mediums. There you go, overtake to corner 11, and teammate is in the pits. We're right behind Antonio Giovinazzi. Carlos is coming from the pits with a new set of fresh softs. So I know that him having the better pace with those softs, I'm gonna decide to let him go at this stage of a Grand Prix, because I know he will have more pace than me. And actually, Carlos Sainz making the maneuver on the slower cars who have not yet done a pit stop, and we overtake Antonio Giovinazzi round the outside, but he tries to keep it side by side with us. But I think our car has a little bit more pace and better tires, so I think this will be a very easy maneuver for us. And yes, it is. We have more traction. We out-drag him, and we're gonna dive up the inside of George Russell, not even touch him, but we overshoot our braking. We're gonna go side by side with him, but we're not gonna give up. We tap a little bit wheels, and that's easy maneuver for P9. But of course, not everybody has still made a pit stop, as you can see. Carlos Sainz once again trying to overtake a slower car ahead, and now Pierre Gasly. There you go, easy as you like it. We overtook Pierre Gasly, and now we made the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so we have the best pace so far. But of course, our teammate is stuck in the traffic. But because of that, we are catching towards him, and now he's overtaking Nico Hulkenberg to corner 1. So as I said, what on earth Carlos Sainz has been eating? He's been eating some goddamn good steroids, and we're gonna dive up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, and that's us in P6. So P5 and P6 currently for the McLaren boys. Lewis Hamilton trying to challenge us for the position, our championship rival, and looks like he made it done. We'll a bit try to compromise his straight line speed, and we're gonna dive up the inside, make sure that we're gonna get ahead of him. Easy as you like it, and there we go. Got the back out of it. And now Carlos Sainz is trying to overtake Lando Norris around the outside, and yes he did. Very easy maneuver on Lando Norris, who is with the Renault car, replacing Nico Hulkenberg in Renault, and Nico Hulkenberg replacing Romain Grosjean in Haas Formula 1 team, if somebody didn't know that already. And we're gonna dive up the inside of Lando Norris, and that's very easy maneuver. So when Carlos overtakes, I overtake. And looks like Lewis Hamilton will have very easy overtake on Lando Norris, and Carlos Sainz has to back out a little bit, and we're gonna back out of it because we're gonna give Carlos enough time to overtake the slower car. And by this we are protecting Carlos Sainz's position, because if I overtake him, then that means Hamilton would overtake him also, which would be really bad for my championship. So we have to strategize when we overtake Carlos Sainz. We can't just overtake him immediately, because it would make then everybody, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri, Ferraris would overtake him. So we kind of need to do what Kimi did to Sebastian in 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix, just stay behind Carlos Sainz, use his DRS and slipstream to make sure Lewis Hamilton won't overtake us, and put as many cars as possible between Lewis and I. And there we go, we overtook Danny Kvyat for P3 position, so it's McLaren boys in P2 and P3. And now we have Carlos Sainz actually going to the pit stops, and Kimi Räikkönen pitting. So Kimi Räikkönen is in a one-stop strategy, so he's legitimately fighting for the win. So it's been a very, very interesting Grand Prix so far. But now, 3 laps later, we're gonna go to the pits. Lewis Hamilton is gonna follow us, and we're gonna take the medium set of tires to the end, and we're gonna bounce to the end with this set of tires. And Sergio Perez is with the hard set of tires. He's on a one-stop, and now Carlos Sainz is gonna come just ahead of us, and that was quite unfortunate. That was tactical maneuver from the team. So our tires are still very cold, as you can see. I lost a lot of momentum from that corner, but we're gonna put the ERS down. We're gonna put fuel probably down also. We're gonna show Carlos Sainz that we're not fighting for position with him, because if we overtake him, then of course Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas would get past him. So we have to slow the Mercedes down so that Carlos Sainz will have a chance to finish P2 in the end. But we have Ferrari of Charles Leclerc trying to overtake us on the outside, and will he make the maneuver stick? We're gonna keep it on the outside, and there we go. Easy maneuver for P2, and that helps us a lot. I mean, of course, for P5. And it's lap 24 now, and we've got up to one stop in Kimi Raikkonen. We overtake the latest Ferrari world champion just like that, but he's of course gonna get overtaken by Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, so he's like a sitting duck. And there's an old saying in Formula 1, if one car overtakes you, then the whole field will overtake you. So, and we defend from Lewis Hamilton, and now it's lap 29, and looks like Sergio Perez has a very big gap, but we still have to protect Carlos's position, and it looks like we could actually have more pace than Carlos, maybe about 3 to 4 tenths quicker pace, but we need to think about the team's constructors and about Lewis Hamilton's chance in the championship. So we have to be as high as possible in constructors title and as a driver's title also. And we defend from Lewis Hamilton, but still we have. And second to last lap, and Sergio Perez was leading the Grand Prix, has some mechanical issues in the car, so will Racing Point win this Grand Prix? As you can see from the full map, we've caught up right to the rear of Sergio Perez, and we have left Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton fighting for dust, fighting for P3. They started going side by side with each other, so that gave McLaren boys a good chance to pull away from that train. And Carlos Sainz is now wide behind of Sergio Perez, so the strategy worked like brilliantly. That will let Carlos Sainz catch up to Perez, and I'm gonna hold up the Mercedes and Ferraris, and then we're gonna take the biggest slot machine win from this Grand Prix. And as you can see, Carlos Sainz overtaking Sergio Perez very easily, and we're right behind Sergio Perez. So let's see, is this going to be a very easy maneuver for us? We know he has a mechanical issue, so we have to make this move. This is the final corner. We can make the maneuver, and we make it. We're going to dive up the inside. We're going to run a little bit wide. We're going to go side by side with Sergio Perez, but we made it stick, and it's McLaren P1 and P2. We try to catch up to Carlos Sainz, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. But ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Eric's career mode series, McLaren has truly returned to the top. First McLaren P1 and P2 since the since Canadian Grand Prix 2012. It is P1 and P2. Front row lockout for McLaren boys. P1 and P2 for McLaren Racing Formula 1 team. And Carlos Sainz is going to take his first win in Formula 1. First of many, I hope. What a brilliant race that was. We could have had a chance to win, but we got maximum points for the team, so our strategy was really brilliant, and Carlos's pace was best this far of the season.
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
True. It's a team sport, exactly how Anthony Davidson said it. And it's a McLaren P1 and P2. Carlos Sainz win his first Grand Prix with McLaren before going to Ferrari next season. So only showing the Ferrari boys that yes, I can also win Grand Prix. And McLaren P1 and P2. Sergio Perez, great P3 from him with a Racing Point. Very amazing job with that one-stop strategy. And we put more gap to Lewis Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship. That P10 from Silverstone is now much better. Even though we didn't win a Grand Prix, we still got a maximum point as a team, and I'm catching up to Lewis Hamilton once again.
So
And
let's review the drivers' standings. Devlin increases their championship lead. Some amazing talents out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, there was a lot of incredible driving out there today, Crofty, but if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez. Fantastic.
of course, if you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, subscribe, and episode 12 will come out tomorrow. We lead the Drivers' Championship. We are P2 in the Constructors' title. So, until tomorrow,
Be sure to join us.
see ya!